Thanks for checking out this haul video. So this is part one of the other stuff that I had from the Vinegar Syndrome halfway to Black Friday sale. So here's a stack, and then I have a part two that I'm going to be doing after this. And also, I already kind of did like a prequel, which was all of the Vinegar Syndrome May releases that I got during the sale and pre-ordered prior to that, and just had part of my subscribership. And that was a video that's already up, so you can go ahead and check that out. It came out within the week, so was very recent, be easy to find. But anyway, as usual, I ranked these from the ones I'm least excited about to most excited about, except the first one. The first one is the one I'm most excited about, and then after that, it goes in that order. And the reason I'm doing that one first is because it is not like the other movies I'm going to go over, because this one is not going out of print right now, and the other ones I'm going to go over are all ones that were on the page for going out of print, and I just really wanted to get them because I've heard good things about all of the ones that I picked up. They were recommendations, and they were on the cheap end, so some of them even $10, so I picked those up. But anyway, let's go with what I'm most excited to finally have. I had held off on getting this for a while, and then just decided since Homegrown Horrors Volume 3 finally came out, and I have one, and I've been wanting to just get Volume 2 now. So there you go, as Hanging Heart, Moonstalker, and Dead Girls. Like the design as usual of these boxes. And let's get into it. And we have one by one. Alright, first of all, we're going with Hanging Heart. Like the artwork on that, that's cool. On the inside, what is the original artwork? Kind of cool, actually. I'm down with the Hanging Heart. I'm getting ahead of myself. The Hanging Heart original artwork. I like that. Denny, a young and handsome actor in surrealist theater, is an object of desire for all who encounter him. When a young woman with whom Denny has been having an affair is found murdered, the police immediately suspect him of being her assailant. Managing to get off the hook for his potential involvement pending additional investigation, it's not long before another woman in Denny's life is murdered, with Denny again becoming the prime suspect. Is someone trying to frame him, or is Denny himself a deranged lunatic weaving a bizarre plan to try and get away with multiple murders? Actually, the premise of this sounds a lot like All American Murder, which was a Vinegar Syndrome release that I really enjoyed, but cool enough premise. I'm down to see what that's all about. So then the next one, and this is the one I've heard is the best in the set, and that is Moonstalker. And I believe there's one movie in Homegrown Horrors Volume 3, which is by the same guy who did this one. So that's Moonstalker. If I'm not showing you the back, because there's really nothing on there. And the original artwork for Moonstalker, not looking great. That looks pretty terrible, actually. But I've heard good things about the movie. So here we go. In a wintry forest near Reno, Nevada, a deformed and demented man-child named Bernie lives out of an RV with his elderly father. After observing the expensive microwave owned by a vacationing family, the old man sends Bernie out to steal it. But instead, Bernie commences a bloody rampage through the woods, gorily knocking off anyone and everyone who crosses his path. And with a nearby camp opening up for the season, the body count begins to rise to staggering heights. Like I said, I've heard this is really good. The premise on the back, the synopsis, makes it sound really good. So I'm pretty stoked about that one. I'll be reviewing these at some point. But these will be, since these aren't like new releases this year, they'll just be like my 60-second or less videos I've been putting up for movie reviews. But there's a lot of good information in that. And then the final one of the release is Dead Girls, which also, great artwork on that one. Love that artwork. Let's see what the original artwork was. Not great. So the only one who had like good original artwork in here was Hanging Heart. Alright, Dead Girls. All girl, I was going to say alt. Nope. It was like alt rock is what I thought it was going for. All girl rock band Dead Girls have made a name and plenty of controversy for themselves by recording songs which glorify death and suicide. However, everything changes when lead singer Bertha Beirut learns that her younger sister has been hospitalized following a group suicide pact, which is associated with the lyrics of one of the Dead Girls' songs. Reeling from the shock, the band decides to put their upcoming tour on hiatus. while they reconsider the messages conveyed in their music, staying at a family property in the mountains to hash out their thoughts. But soon an uninvited guest appears, dressed in a black coat, gloves, hat, and wearing a small skull mask, who begins to hack, chop, strangle, and otherwise dispatch the band. Sounds okay. I've heard this one isn't, like, great, but hey, I'm excited to go through this set. Always excited to experience some more regional horror, and that's what this is. I can't wait for Homegrown Horrors 4. I haven't even gone through 3, and I'm already excited for 4. All right, so now I'm getting into all the ones that were going out of print, and Vinegar Syndrome had even said, I believe they sent out an email listing the ones that were going out of print but hadn't sold out all the way, and they literally said, look, if these titles listed do not sell out by the end of this halfway to Black Friday sale, they're just not going to be available anymore. Like, we're keeping the copies. Well, I don't know what they're going to do with the extra copies they have, but they just won't be for sale anymore because they just need to get rid of them. So here's what I decided to pick up. The first one, again, this is in the order of least excited about to most excited about. So the first one I have here is Prey. This was recommended to me by Salty Essentials, subscriber of the channel. So it had been on my list to get. It wasn't a high priority, but at this point I was like, well, I kind of have to get it now. Yeah, let's see what the inside. Yeah, that's not a great cover. So, yeah. Definitely have it on the good one. This was back during their, like, Blu-ray and DVD releases. An alien craft carrying a being with fox-like features has landed in the middle of rural England. After brutally murdering a young couple, the being animates himself into the body of the man he killed, adopting the name Anders. Upon being discovered by a reclusive lesbian couple who mistake him for an injured drifter, they invite him to recover in their isolated home, unaware of his innate bloodlust. And I do want to show you this picture on here of, like, what these aliens look like. It's very weird. You see that right there? I mean, they look like cats, basically. I mean, it looks like it's from Sleepwalkers. Was that the movie with the cat people? I haven't seen it. But anyway. Okay, so Prey. Sounds fun. Like I said, it was recommended. The next one was recommended to me from someone in Celeste de la Cabra's Discord, which, by the way, if you don't know, they're a YouTuber, awesome YouTuber, who, if you give to their Patreon, which is well worth it, they have a Discord with a lot of really cool people talking about a lot of fun stuff. And I got a lot of recommendations from people in that. I found it a great place to bounce ideas off people for what I should or shouldn't buy. And they'll kind of talk you into it sometimes when you're like, man, I was hoping to not spend that money. But sometimes literally be able to be like, no, it's really not worth it, and save you from making some purchases. But this was one of those recommended. The Severed Arm. I had been looking at this one for a while. I know this is kind of an older one. I like the yellow look of this. Like, it's got a very giallo look. I know it's not a giallo, but... So this I think was the original artwork, and I flipped it because the Vinegar Syndrome artwork I don't think is that good. It's not that interesting. I think the original was a lot cooler, especially because it is like giallo-ish. While camping, a group of friends become trapped in a cave. Desperate and starving, they draw straws to decide which one should suffer the severing of his arm so that the others can eat. But no sooner than making this fateful amputation, they're rescued, though their unfortunate victim has been driven hopelessly mad by the experience. Years later, the survivors have all moved on with their lives. That is, until someone with a very sharp axe to grind begins stalking them and chopping off their arms one by one. Sounds like a fun time. I know this is an older... Yeah, this is from 73. I watched the trailer for it at one point, and I was, like, pretty on the fence, but heard it's solid enough. Checking it out. Then the next one also... Actually, all of these were recommendations from Celeste de la Cabra's Discord. This one, Rest in Pieces, and I love the cover art on this. Like, that looks awesome. I know that's what the slipcover was, and the original artwork is this, which isn't bad. I'm okay with the original artwork. And then, obviously, Rest in Pieces there. It's like all red. Very interesting. All right, Rest in Pieces. Helen Hewitt has inherited her recently deceased Aunt Catherine's humongous country villa. After arriving at their new home, she and her husband, Bob, immediately feel a sense of unease and hostility from the estate's staff and tenants, all of whom do their best to make the young couple feel unwelcome. As strange and increasingly sinister events begin to take place around her, Helen becomes determined to uncover the truth about the goings-on and slowly begins to unearth the horrifying and unspeakable evil occurring at the mysterious mansion. Sounds like fun. Yeah. Interested. Then the next one is one that people were saying, like, this isn't usually the type of film that I go for, but people were saying for what it is, it's actually pretty impressive. This is a very low budget film that they actually achieved a lot when they made it, and that is the film Shot. It's like a crime thriller, basically, but apparently was like a student project. I don't know. That's what just what I've heard. I like this cover art. That's cool. But then I flipped it because I don't like the cover art that Vinegar Syndrome did. I think it's kind of dumb. I mean, it's like old school comic style, but like, I don't know. That's not what I'm into. I like this one more. Anyway, semi-urban detective duo Ross and Wilson have been charged with taking down local drug kingpin Blasey. After busting a low-level pusher, they convince his girlfriend Sheila to start working for them as an undercover operative in exchange for avoiding prison. But as Ross finds himself becoming romantically interested in his new, perpetually spaced-out informant, Blasey continues to strengthen his crime empire, setting his sights on even loftier and deadlier ambitions. Again, I had watched the trailer for this, and I was like, it's not really my thing, but people are like, look, it is impressive what they were able to do. It's actually a good movie, even though it's like super low budget, and the trailer makes it look like it's kind of So, real excited about that one. Then the last one for this portion of the haul, and then I will have my other ones. I think I have 7 for the last one. Pale Blood. So this one, I didn't know. I hadn't even watched a trailer for it or anything. And I immediately had just seen this and been like, I'm not interested because vampire stuff. I don't really like vampire movies for the most part. Certain ones I do, but it's just so overdone. There's just way too much out there, and it's usually not that interesting. But the people in the Discord convinced me to go ahead and get this. One of the big reasons being Wings Hauser is in it. And I didn't know that until it was told to me. And I was like, well, I mean, I have to. Like, I will see anything with Wings Hauser in it. And I think this was only $10, but apparently this was like a made-for-TV vampire movie. That's not like a great cover art, but this is even less great. So, you know. Anyway, let's read about Pale Blood. Michael Fury is a vampire, but contrary to myth and legend, he does not stalk innocent victims to drain them of blood and life. Rather, he only drinks what he needs to survive. But when a vicious and very human killer begins murdering young women in Los Angeles by biting them and draining their blood, sparking fears of vampires prowling the city, Michael realizes it will be up to him to unmask the fiend behind these deaths to save the good name of his vampire brethren. So someone had told me that it is an interesting take on the vampire story. So that kind of sold me, but really what sold me, obviously, Wings Hauser. I mean, his performances are always just very enjoyable because they're so, like, ridiculous, over the top, and unhinged. And, yeah, I just got to see it. So most excited for this one. And that's it. That's it for this one, but look for me releasing the second half of my halfway to Black Friday sale video within a week's time. It'll be less than that, but within a week's time. So it's coming. Again, would love to hear what you've gotten for hauls recently. Doesn't have to be Vinegar Syndrome. Doesn't even have to be horror. It's just whatever you're excited about. Just let me know. Go ahead and put it in the comments. Hit subscribe to my channel. I always do this. Like, when I do this, I should be like, look, thumbs up on the video, please. Then you can subscribe to my channel. That is the best way to repay me for all this free content I'm putting out there. You can also hit the notification bell button, and that'll let you know when I'm putting up new videos. But regardless, I thank you very much for taking your time to watch this. And until next time, keep it brutal.